everyone, welcome back to another wrestling review. This time we're reviewing Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Just kidding. We're reviewing WWE's premium live event that just happened this past Saturday, which was Crown Jewel from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which was an early start time, which was great, which started at noon. It was done by 3:30, and I still had the rest of the day. I like WWE moving their events to Saturday.
Can I say something before we even talk about this? Because I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but if they did every pay-per-view on Saturday in the afternoon, it would be amazing for my life. Because like doing it at night, I get it. It gives you something to look forward to, but then you need to plan your whole day around it. This is way better. I wake up, I eat, and then boom, I'm watching WWE. Then I have the whole day after that when it's over.
Yeah.
And if you're putting up the same numbers, what's the point of doing it at night?
Yeah. I think they have a 7 or 8 p.m. start time for events. So it started at noon here because it was at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. in Riyadh. So
but if everyone's loving it being at this time, why don't you just keep doing it?
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. It was great for me. But I guess no introduction. Campo's here with us. We're reviewing Crown Jewel. You guys know what to do. We hit 230. Let's get to 250 before the end of the year. So smash that like button, smash that subscribe, share it with a friend. If you have friends that are into wrestling, make sure you let them know to come and watch our reviews as well. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me out. So I'd really appreciate that. So with that out of the way, let's start with Crown Jewel. Another pay-per-view that should have only been 2 hours that lasted 3.
Yeah, and because of the setup we had while watching it, we basically had to watch all of the promos because it involved a lot of getting up and walking across the room and like skipping and hoping we were going to land on the right spot. So, it wasn't.
You're watching on a device from the network?
Yeah, no, on Sportsnet, but through a laptop that had no mouse. So, and it was on the other side of the room. So every time we wanted to do it, like I said, you had to go there and then hope that you were going to get perfectly on the spot, or you had to keep reversing, and then it would freeze sometimes. And it was so we just ended up watching most of the promos, and they were very bad
and very long.
Yeah.
But
and had nothing to do with this event.
No, not at all. They're promoting Becky Lynch, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, 4 people that were not on Charlotte Flair, 5 people that were not. Like
that Charlotte Flair one's starting to really piss me off because it's at every event.
So long.
And it would, remember it played twice at the last one and it was really long. And the Bianca one played 3 times at NXT.
Yeah, that's right. They could have easily reduced this instead of a 3.5-hour show. They could have easily done this in 2 and a bit. But that's beside the point. We'll start off with our first match, which was Bobby Lashley against Brock Lesnar. Basically, this was Brock Lesnar saying, I'm coming in and I'm leaving. Just get me out of here.
I don't think this was a very good match.
No, not at all.
It was... Well, the spearing was dumb. This is a big issue I have. And
finish was dumb too.
It led to a conversation.
Yeah.
Where, first of all, before we even get to this, I almost predicted every single thing down to a T of what was going to happen minus one finish. Okay.
Yeah, pretty close.
In this match, I predicted who was going to win, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You picked Brock.
And I predicted that they were going to spear through a
barricade.
The barricade, that specific barricade, whatever it's called,
where the timekeeper's table is.
But
I digress.
So, you watch Edge. This is the talk we had. You watch Goldberg. You watch Brock Lesnar. They do a spear. The match is over. So Bobby Lashley speared Brock Lesnar 19 times, including through a barricade, and didn't affect him at all. And it got really strange to me that this kind of thing was happening. And then all he did was do one belly to back suplex on Bobby Lashley. And Bobby
he did a few belly to back suplexes. He did a few. He did about 3 or 4.
But upon the first one, he was already dazed. Okay.
Yeah.
And or acting like it. And I'm convinced, I'm with the conspiracy theorists that have been going around on the internet all weekend, that this finish was a botch. that Bobby Lashley didn't realize that the ref that he was supposed to kick out because he thought I have him in the finishing hold, and the ref's like, obviously I have to count this.
But the thing is, his shoulder was not on the mat because he had him up.
It wasn't, so I think it was a double botch. But yeah, it came off really weird. It might have been the plan, but it didn't come off like that, and it didn't come off like an authentic situation. It came off like it was on not meant to happen.
Yeah, because he had him in the hurt lock for like a good 2 minutes, and then Brock does the climb over the turnbuckles and throws himself back, and he lands on Lashley, and Lashley, all he had to do was let go of the hold.
Or like roll his shoulder up, which I was expecting to happen when he got to 2, and then he didn't do it. And the ref can't stop counting because then he's going to look like an idiot. So that's what I think happened. He got to 2. He was going to go for 3, and then he realized he's not lifting up his shoulder. I got to count it.
Yeah.
Because it ended very awkwardly and short.
It was short. It was only 6 minutes. It is obviously going to set up that was the plan all along, to set up the rematch, I think, but not in that way. I was expecting, because Bobby Lashley has a history in Bellator and Brock and a history of UFC. I was expecting more of an MMA style.
Yeah, and I mean,
more strikes, more grapples.
There was comments made by the guy who fought Omos,
Braun
Strowman, about like people are talking crap about his match, whatever, blah blah blah. That big guys doing these things is like the way WWE goes, and those flippy floppy guys are not putting on good matches, like to something to that extent. And it's like, because he didn't get a good rating for this. But regardless, this match falls into that category. I don't want to watch 2 big dumb idiots punch each other. I want to watch a wrestling match. If you went into UFC mode, I would have gladly been like, well, okay, let's go. Instead, you're like, no, we're going to do big hits hard for 3 minutes.
Spears and F5s and suplexes.
Yeah, and then we'll just put some guy in a sleeper hold for fucking 2 minutes and then end the match.
Yeah, it's like I said, if they went the more MMA style, the ground attacks, the strikes, the submissions, the grapples, I would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Over.
There wasn't too much wrestling.
No. For guys that are collegiate wrestlers and like amateur style and like fought in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, and like, would I look at this match and be like, this was the worst match ever? No. But it wasn't it started out in like an entertaining way, but then when you get to the point, like I said, where you realize that he's not even hurting him with these spears, what's the point of this?
Yeah, it ended with a dud. It was not a good opening match. And
no, this was a main event on Raw.
Yeah, it was not something to get the crowd hyped up. At least for me. Brock Lesnar goes over. They're 1-1. Clearly, it's going to set up a rematch. This had a Bobby Lashley heel turn, and I'm guessing it's a Brock Lesnar face turn. That's what they're aiming for, because
Brock Lesnar's kind of been a face in SummerSlam.
Yeah, and because after the match, like Lashley attacked Lesnar again, and Lesnar just kind of sold it. Like I said, the less said about this match, the better. Next, we had Damage Control against the new women's tag team champions of Alexa Bliss and Asuka. I hope she didn't hear that. But again, they just won the belts, and the match was good. I just didn't like the way it ended.
The match started off terribly. Absolutely terribly. And Alexa Bliss, once again, falling into that thing of like, you don't look like you're doing any damage.
But she doesn't look like she belongs there. Like Dakota Kai is smaller, but she looks more physically imposing, and her shots look like they actually hurt.
Spot-wise, okay, towards the end, even Alexa Bliss started to look really good, and the match got way better, like way better. But it started off really rough, and like until like near the end, Alexa Bliss was looking really bad in comparison to
the other 3.
The match was a little bit not like sloppy in terms of move, but in terms of like what was happening, there was
pace.
There was a lot of weird things going on that it was like there was so much to focus on, and you're kind of like, what? And then they did that big spot that now is like not a spot anymore, because everyone knows they're going to do that.
The tower, when they set up the power bomb suplex, the tower doom
like the
spot.
First time you're like sick, and then the second time you're like pretty sick, and now the 37th time you're like, okay, WWE, you saw AEW do this, and now you just keep doing it. And AEW just did one in a trios match where all 6 people did it. And now you can't beat that. Don't come around here with your 4 people and think you're going to beat that.
You're going to try that.
But anyways, I digress. In that moment, and these are like things like I'm not going to judge what's happening based on this, but as watching so much wrestling now, you notice these things. Asuka reaches under them to do that spot, then pulls out, turns around, and goes and says, "You can see her. Are you ready?"
Yeah.
And Alexa Bliss nods her head, and then they do it. And it's like these are like the things in wrestling that you need to not do. Like Alexa Bliss
not
should have
make
said,
it visible, not let people see that.
She shouldn't have nodded. She should have just said, "Yeah." Why would you nod? Like you're like, okay. And they waited too long to do it. I digress again.
Yeah. But no, I mean, but like you said, I don't understand why they put the belts on them in the first place.
I'm going to give you my theory. But Alexa, sorry, you can't say these words.
I can say Bliss.
Dakota Kai and Io Sky go over. But they were pretty good. And I'm not a big Dakota Sky fan. Dakota Kai. But I love Io Sky and I love Asuka. So getting to see them have their little moments was fun. They did a lot of rope work. It was nice. And that's like where the match got better.
Clearly the 2 most talented women in that match.
But it's Kai proved herself to be good. And in the heat of things, Alexa Bliss really started to show up. And I was like, okay, you didn't go full Liv Morgan on me. Congratulations. Because like I've always had a lot of faith in both of them as like having potential to be good. Like how I feel about Julia Hart. They're smaller women, but they have like this get up and go that kind of like makes you root for them, right? But this is my theory. So losing the titles, this was a dumb idea. I think you should have left it on them. This is another situation where you needed to put some gold on Asuka just so that it's there on her Wikipedia. It needed to just exist as her winning again because you're going to sideline her as usual.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to give a little shine for Alexa Bliss because she's about to turn dark and go.
Yeah, they teased that at right before the match when they were doing the interview, and you saw the Bray Wyatt logo on the screen, and she kind of got distracted by it.
And I think that's why they did it. They were like, "We're gonna let you have the belt for your Wikipedia, and we're gonna let you have the belt just so it looks like we did something with you before you go off on this new journey."
Yeah,
we needed to have some kind of closure to this feud with you guys getting something out of it before we give it back to them, because Sky and Kai should have not lost the titles to begin with. But now when I think about it in the long run of storytelling, I understand why they did that. If this is what happens.
If that's where it's going,
If it doesn't, then this was a huge botch.
Because then how are they going to incorporate? Because there was interference by Nikki Cross once again in this match.
Which I called one of the women's matches was going to have interference.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't understand where she's going to fit into this now.
I think there is going to be because if she did it to the other team, it would make sense, because if Alexa Bliss leaves, Asuka can go with Nikki Cross, but because she did it to them, Asuka's not going to team up with her.
But then again, on Monday, she did it to both of them. She did it to Bayley too.
I think Nikki Cross is just becoming this wild card character where anything can happen.
I think for me, I'm thinking now that Bianca's done with Bayley, it's going to split off into a Nikki Bayley feud.
Okay. As long as she's not in the title picture.
No, I don't think it'll be for the title in the title picture, but I think it's going to be that feud there. I just don't know where the women's tag champs go from here.
Fair.
Do you think, is it going to be Shotzi and Raquel again going after it?
I really don't know, because I don't care at all about Raquel. And Shotzi, every match I've seen with her, I know she's a good wrestler. And she has a look. She has a mic ability. She knows what to do.
She's charismatic.
But she's absolutely been a botch fest in the last 5 matches I've seen with her. And I don't know if it's because of nerves or they're trying to push her and she's getting worried about it. But
because that match she had in NXT last week was actually quite decent.
Yes, I heard this and I didn't see it. But leading up to that, I was very surprised at the hype around her, and then watching her actually wrestle and being like, okay, well, this is the thing. She's very much a spin-off character and wrestler of Dakota Kai. Like, she's so similar in so many ways in everything she does. It's very strange.
Yeah. But I'm
They would have been a
curious.
good tag team.
Which one?
Kai
and Shotzi?
Shotzi.
They were for a while, weren't they?
I think so, yeah. But
in NXT or something.
Hey,
but
come
yeah,
on, I don't watch wrestling.
Her match against Lash Legend in NXT was actually a decent match. Like, it was.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it was quite fun. Yeah, so I don't know where they go from here. Then we had another 15-minute Becky Lynch promo between that.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I honestly think those promos are put in there between matches so people can go out to the merch stands and spend money.
But here's what we were talking about. I think that these events are pre-recorded like 30 minutes ahead, and they're not seeing those. There's just breaks, because when we noticed that when something was happening in the ring, they weren't showing anything on the screens there.
On the screen, yeah.
But we were seeing something for us. And like, I was thinking, like, if they can't see the women have to be covered up there. Why would they show on the Jumbotron half naked women wrestling?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't show any of those clips there. Yeah. Maybe if they watch it on TV, it's different, but like live on the event, I don't think they could show that.
Yeah. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. You guys can tell me, but I was confused a bit by those situations.
Next match, we got the other Cross, Karrion Kross, against Drew McIntyre in a cage match. Better than the last match.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it in terms of like material, it was kind of empty. Like, there wasn't much storytelling happening in the ring. It was just a match in a cage.
Yeah, it was a
traditional style cage match where you knew a spot was coming where there was going to be a slam from the top.
Yeah.
And like
a slam into the cage, a slam by the cage door.
Yeah. In any other company, they would have stood at the top and both came down, but it's WWE. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not complaining about it, but it wasn't something I'm going to go tell everybody they need to see.
Yeah. And we clearly knew this was going to happen too. That Drew McIntyre goes over. So now
he had to go over. He had to. Once again, called it. But Scarlett, once again with the dumb pepper spray. I'm so tired of it. I understand. We talked about it for a bit while watching it, and then found out like, okay, maybe because it's no DQ, but she pepper sprayed him in the face in front of a ref, then pepper sprayed the ref in front of the other ref, and the match was just allowed to continue. And I get it.
But this time the pepper spray, I guess, wasn't as a strong concentration because Drew recovered from it much faster.
The funniest part of this whole match, he gets pepper sprayed, and apparently pepper spray punches you in the face and knocks you back 30 feet because all he had to do when he got sprayed was fall forward out of the door, but he went back through the ropes and all the way back to the other corner.
And his eyes weren't even puffy and red.
Yeah, I mean, and he still won the match without ever wiping his eyes. Yeah. I understand. That's fine.
But I digress.
I'm not here to pick on those dumb things that wrestling does, because that's
wrestling logic.
But it's just like, the biggest issue for me in that scenario was just him. All he had to do was fall forward and he would have been out of the match.
I would have actually preferred that ending much better.
Yeah, an accidental loss because Scarlett's an idiot situation. It would have made more sense. Either way, I'm happy Drew won.
Yeah.
WWE dogs the shit out of this guy.
Excuse me. Sorry.
He's the new Seth Rollins for WWE, where it's like they just don't Drew. They don't know what to do with him. And
there's no direction for him.
And I don't care. Like, I know you're a fan, but Karrion Kross has not impressed me at all since he's come back.
That's
to
the thing.
WWE.
I am a fan, and I agree with you on that. He deserves so. But the thing is, I think they're handcuffed right now because Walter is so good with the IC belt, and Roman has that stranglehold on the both Universal and the World Championship, that basically your main event guys are rudderless. They're on a boat without a motor.
Yeah, they've NWO'd it.
Yeah.
Where unless you have another guy who has 8 people on his team to keep everyone away from ringside, you're not going to beat Roman Reigns ever.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that later. But it's like, it's bothers me because, okay, Drew's a great wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And Karrion Kross, you tell me he's great. I haven't seen him wrestle enough to know, but lately he hasn't. But I think they're such similar wrestlers, and they're both in that mid-range size where they're kind of big guys, but they're not like,
but they're still
giants.
athletic.
They're athletic, but they don't have that like little guy like, or like Kenny Omega, I'm going to do 16 backflips type of thing, or Will Ospreay, right? And then they're so similar that the matches are so empty. There's nothing there.
If I got a suggestion for you, I think it was a year or so ago, Karrion Kross, before he was called up to the main roster the first time, he had a match with Finn Balor. Go check that out.
But was that Finn or was that him?
It was just a good match.
I'll watch
I'm sure Finn had a lot to do with it.
It's on the network, right?
Yeah. I'm sure it was at a takeover, and I'm sure Finn had a lot to do with it, but he really looked good in that match. And
Finn
I don't know
if great.
Yeah. But Drew goes over like he should have. Obviously, this feud's going to continue. They're going to do, I don't know what both matches have been a stipulation match. I don't know what the hell they're going to do for the third.
I just find Drew's whole situation weird. I want to move on from this, but it's like, it's like having, you can't really compare it. It's like if you had Samoa Joe, I guess that's a good comparison. He's a good wrestler. He's over with the fans. He has a good character. He's very established. He has gold right now. But if it would be like never wanting to give him any sort of gold. Imagine if Samoa Joe just kept losing all the time. And it's like you're wasting one of the biggest stars you have.
They're Randy Savaging him.
Yes, exactly. Because Seth Rollins finally just got over that, but now our eyes are now moved to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Roman having the stranglehold on the belts. Do they need to add maybe a third belt, like a TV belt that can be defended?
And this was my biggest argument. One brand gets the TV belt, one brand gets the European Championship. And you go from there. Who do you slap it on? Oh, Drew McIntyre is European. Congratulations. You're the new European champion.
Kind of like what they did with the All Atlantic.
Yeah. And you make it so that now you have a way to challenge other companies. You let other companies wrestle only on your pay-per-view. So you can sell tickets. You bring in a big name from another company and you let them wrestle for that European belt or the TV belt. That's it.
Yeah. Can you imagine they bring in I'm just throwing a name out, like a Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. And you could do it AEW style where New Japan is a lot more forgiving with how they just give other companies belts. AEW never lets anyone else win the belt.
No.
But they allow the matches to happen.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. In just a few short months, that All Atlantic Championship means so much more than the TNT Championship right now.
Oh, way more. The TNT Championship is irrelevant.
Yeah. I forgot that Wardlow was champ until I saw him the other night.
Yeah, it's become irrelevant. But I really like the tag team. I'm not going to lie. We digress.
Yeah.
So
let's move on to the next match then.
Let's go.
We'll hopefully they'll find something for Drew in the future. OC versus Judgment Day in this one.
I really like this match.
Carl Anderson showed up to this one, so clearly that means he was not going to show up to.
Well, we knew that. This was a plan.
Yeah,
this is a work shoot
because Takahashi, Yujiro Takahashi made the challenge to Hikuleo the night before. So.
Yeah, and now whoever they wrestle the thing with the who what's. Anyways.
But yes, this is another one that started. This started off really slow though.
But when it picked up, it picked up.
Yeah.
Listen, number one. This was arguably my greatest WWE moment of the whole year. The words "Bullet Club" came out of somebody's mouth.
And Corey Graves said "Bullet Club."
I fucking screamed at the top of my lungs. I was like, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme? I was like, they said it. I was like, they said it.
They said it.
We were having a whole discussion about how WWE refuses to acknowledge anything. And I was explaining to him the history of what's special about getting to watch Finn Balor
against AJ Styles.
Because my thought process is in WWE, every single pay-per-view, your main event is Shinsuke versus AJ versus Finn. And I'll watch it every time. I don't care. I'll watch it forever. And when they acknowledged that, it blew my mind. I'm like, because then I was like, now you opened up my storytelling. I'm like, those three guys are like the original Bullet Club. And then AJ came and knocked him out and took it. And they talked about it. And like, I'm sorry, I'm getting excited, but this was like a life-changing moment for me where if WWE can fix their product, they might have the best product. Like
they could, yeah. We were talking about in a video that hasn't aired yet about what we're expecting for War Games, and you were talking about like the whole thing with the club and Judgment Day in a War Games match. What if they add Shinsuke to the club?
I would take it. I would absolutely take it. I think if you weasel your way around and you fix these little things, maybe, we don't know, the two members who show up for Finn Balor are two Bullet Club guys. Maybe it's Juice Robinson and like who knows, Jay White show up and that's their two extra guys, and you're like, holy crap. Because I can easily see WWE working with AAA or CMLL or New Japan or All Japan, because they've had working relationships with them before. It's not going to be Impact or AEW or Ring of Honor. But those overseas companies, that would be great if you just dropped them in, because now you started the whole thing. You have Carl Henderson, and this could cause your crossover. And you don't have to do it all the time, but just give the fans one big thing. Yeah. And the real fans that are here for the wrestling. And I think you could blow me away with that. This little moment changed this whole event for me. Yeah. I was like a little kid with a smile on for the rest of the entire pay-per-view after that happened, because I couldn't believe it. It was like
they
shocking.
Actually mentioned it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Said the thing.
This was like Sting coming out, like we talked about, or like this was like a moment where you're like, holy crap, this actually just happened. And the match turned into a great match.
Yeah, all by saying two little words in Bullet Club.
When Finn and AJ were together in the ring, it was absolutely magic.
Yes, absolutely. Not Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson's good. It's Doc Gallows that leaves a little something to be desired.
He's very Lance Archery in his execution of things.
But I mean, it played out well, because like Carl worked well because he's that established veteran. He worked well with Dominic. AJ versus Finn, that's something you'll always want to see. And then you had the two big guys of Carl and Damian Priest that like worked well together as well. So it would be
great to see them, just like, I know off topic, but Survivor Series, they both pull a Uno card on each other, a Uno reverse, where one guy's like, I brought out someone you might know, and it's like two Bullet Club guys, and then AJ's like, well, I brought out two guys you might know, and it's two more guys, and you're like, oh crap, Tanahashi, like, let's go, right? Like, I'll take it. I'm just very excited.
Yeah, doubt that'll happen, but
let me just be excited.
A boy can dream, right? A boy can
exactly
dream.
Childhood dreams.
Yeah, this was and that's the thing too, when we got, and they kept alluding to the fact that Rhea Ripley keeps getting involved in the matches. There is going to definitely be a female involvement in this match. I honestly think Edge is going to be coming back with
Beth Phoenix.
Yeah,
that's what I said. A lot of people were telling me, no, it's going to be Raquel Rodriguez or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not.
No,
because she's big enough to fight Rhea Ripley. I'm like, but there's no beef between them. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Beth is the one that makes the most sense.
And Edge has been in a feud with them. Rey Mysterio's been in a feud with them. That's your 6-on-6 right there, and I'm taking it. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But they need to get two people. But then, like I said, it could be Bullet Club guys. Maybe Shinsuke joins Judgment Day.
Maybe Shinsuke joins Judgment Day. I'd take that.
I would definitely take that. Maybe Rick Boogs comes back and you get Shinsuke and Rick join their team.
Booger and the
Kid.
Booger and the Kid. This turned out, like you said, it started off slow, turned out to be a fantastic match. Anytime AJ and Finn were in the ring together, it's just magical. It takes me back to those early 2010s when like the Bullet Club first formed, and like it was good.
This was like fantasy booking for people.
Because you never thought you'd see them all together again. We'll move on after this. After that high, we ended up going to Braun Strowman versus Almost a Wrestler.
This is the worst match of the night. I know I'm saying this early.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
I'm gonna say this, and I hope you see this. You freaking suck, Braun Strowman. You're a terrible wrestler. I know I can't wrestle, but like the fact that you would go out there and be mad that other people are good wrestlers because they're not as big as you, like this match was dog shit.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Braun.
Was better than Braun in this match.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing was because of you slammed him. Like, oh, cool, you're the new Hulk Hogan, except you're not. You're not, and you never will be.
You're just Braun Strowman. I don't even know. Like, out of all the people that have returned, I don't understand Strowman coming back. Unless he's going back with the Wyatt, I don't see him going anywhere.
I think this is because of money, and he has a name already established in WWE and nobody else wanted him. He stayed on free agency forever. Yeah. Nobody wanted anything to do with him. They started up that whole event that fell
to control
through.
Your narrative.
Remember but wasn't he part of that whole event that they were going to do in England with all those wrestlers, and then nobody showed up to the show, and they had to cancel the show?
But even the thing, like, they started that whole control your narrative, but then Ethan Carter brought that to the NWA, but they never brought Strowman with him.
No, and EC3 is actually a good wrestler.
Yeah, that's true too.
And it's not to take away, like, I made that sound really bad, but like,
no, but
you want to put him in feuds with big guys, okay, that's fine. But don't get mad at me for not liking this match that lasted 2 minutes where nothing happened in the whole match. And
the thing is, it lasted longer. It lasted 7.5 minutes. Okay, it was way too long.
It was just even that at that length. I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't feel long to me. It felt like nothing happened. And you did a running power slam and you beat somebody. This is like 1980s wrestling where, you power slam someone. The match is over. I choke slammed him. It's the end of the match.
Yeah, the less we stay on this match, the better. I agree with you. This was the worst match.
The first match had redeeming qualities. This had nothing redeeming at all. I never want to see these two wrestlers on a pay-per-view ever.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Moving on from a bad match sandwiched between two good matches, the Usos against the Brawling Brutes.
It turned out to be way better than I thought it would. I'm still not a fan of Pete Davidson or whatever the hell his name is.
Butch Pete Dunne there?
Yeah, I'm still convinced that it's a woman. And now I've
I can't unsee that now.
It's funny because now everyone I'm telling it to is coming to me and being like, I hate you so much. It's a thing. And it's Adam Cole like. Where you're like, if Adam Cole wore a singlet, you wouldn't be convinced that it wasn't a woman.
Nope.
But they kind of impressed me, and I don't want.
Yeah, Ridge Holland too. Like, I wasn't expecting much from Ridge Holland.
I didn't want to be impressed by them because I don't like them.
Yeah,
they're a stupid tag team with two C-tier wrestlers. But geez, that was a good match.
Yeah, I think was he a former rugby player? Yeah, he was a
Ridge Holland actually surprised the crowd.
Yeah.
I knew Dunn could wrestle.
Yeah. And the Usos are the best tag team in WWE right now.
Yeah, and I did not like the finish, but I knew what the outcome was going to be. I just didn't like how it happened. So a guy got hit like to the point where he was out cold.
Completely, yeah.
Someone went to climb on the ropes, and in those 3 seconds, he was able to get over there and maneuver him, even though he was like dead.
Dead, yeah. Your favorite spot. But at least this was the first match, like, without outside. Well, match. I mean, sorry?
It was a good match.
Yeah, but I mean, and the fact that there was no outside interference in this match, because 3 matches already had outside interference.
Yeah, Triple H is a WCW fan, is what it looks like.
Clearly. But yeah, it was now they're positioned to be the longest running tag team champions. The Usos go over. Positioned to be the longest running tag team. Do you think they're going to lose it on Friday? They can't. They shouldn't.
You want me to believe that they were going to lose to those guys? You're not a chance. This is my thing. Had you said this was for just the Raw titles, I would have been like, okay, these guys actually have a chance.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Roman Reigns. Every time you tell me there's 2 titles, I know that he's not going to lose to this person.
Yeah. What I'm saying, though, is Friday on SmackDown, Usos have to beat the New Day in order to become the longest running tag champions.
And they are going to beat them.
You think so?
If it was for 1 title, I would believe the New Day are going to win. Plus, it's Xavier Woods. So you already know the outcome of this match.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, unless it's a surprise return by Big E, which I doubt that's.
You actually blew my mind. Because if you look it up, I don't remember the number now, but the number of losses they have when Xavier Woods is the second wrestler is ridiculous. Yeah. It's like 2 and 300.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
whenever they've lost, look it up. Whenever they've lost the belt, it's been Xavier Woods in the match.
Yeah. Almost all of their actual losses have come with him as one of the 2 wrestlers, one of the 2 wrestlers that are wrestling.
Yep.
And when Big E and
Kofi
are together, their record is insane.
Yeah. But yeah. So like you said, it's Xavier Woods. I hope they don't lose.
I want the Usos to keep winning.
Yeah.
At this point, I have no beef with the Usos. I have beef with Roman Reigns.
I don't have beef with the Usos because 1, the Usos are actually good. They're a good tag team.
They're one of the best tag teams.
Yeah.
In all of wrestling history. Yeah. I'm just going to say it.
And the thing is, there's nobody there right now that can dethrone them.
No, absolutely not.
With Roman, there are people that can dethrone him, but they're just not pulling the trigger.
Correct. Correctamundo.
That is the issue that I have.
Good match, though.
Yeah, fantastic match. Up there with one of the best of the night to me. Usos go over, they retain. I think this feud is done with Sheamus and the Brutes and all them.
Yeah.
So next we had another great match is Bayley versus Bianca, round 2.
My only issue is, and it's brush assideable, Bayley sets up spots well in advance, and it's always her. I noticed it in the ladder match. I noticed it in the previous match. I noticed
she sets up the weapons for others.
She's always the one, I guess, experience-wise. She sets up the spot, and you're like, okay, it's going to happen. And I must have called it out like 5 times exactly what was going to happen.
Yep.
And like when they were on the golf cart, I was like, they're trying not to show the roof. And my buddy's like, why? And I'm like, because there's grip tape on the roof. So they're trying not to give you a high angle so you can see it. And then they did accidentally. And I'm like, see, it's right there. They cut away really fast.
Yeah. That was the only thing I didn't like was the golf cart spot.
It was okay. I was okay with it minus 2. Actually, okay, maybe it wasn't that good. The drive down the ramp, she like slowed down, and you're like, why did you?
I would have just driven it. What I would have done was I would have driven the cart right into the ring
and made her fly off into the ring. That's exactly what I was thinking was going to happen. And then the other one, when Bayley was driving towards her,
she hit the brakes,
stops, and then sits in the car and waits for her to walk around and like take her out of it.
You know, they should have done a full Sammy Guevara on her.
Yeah, you could have took a hit from a golf cart. You're a wrestler.
Yeah,
that's wrestling.
But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked all the spots when Bayley's trying to hit Bianca with the weapons, and she's like finding innovative ways to like flip over them or dodge the weapon shots. Like
Bayley's really good. Listen, we talked a lot of doo-doo about her, but like upon coming back, she's only got better.
Yeah, she just had to. It was ring rust. That first match was ring rust.
Yeah, and the character that she had before was crap.
Yeah,
I'm very much liking her as a heel. I love the faction. Good work.
Yeah. The only thing is now that she's lost again to Bianca, where do they go from here?
Well, she's not going to get another title shot.
No.
I think this is going to set up a feud between her and one of the coming back ladies.
Maybe Becky
or Charlotte. It depends. Well, they're on Raw, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be not for a title.
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it
too.
Yeah. Unless we see Damage Control in one of the War Games matches.
Hey, give it.
But I'll take that too. It was I liked the way they got her to retain. They kind of pinned Bayley underneath between the ladder and then shoved the ladder under the ring so she couldn't get out.
It was a super smart way to finish to not make Bayley look bad, really.
Yeah. She didn't get knocked out.
It was also kind of a silly way to end the match.
Yeah.
But I understand it and I'm fine with it.
The only thing I thought was funny too was when Bayley pins Bianca behind the steps and she kind of looks like Oscar the Grouch kind of peeking out from
that was the worst thing of the whole match.
Was the stair spot?
The one where it's like, oh, she put the ladder over top so she can't get out. She just like flicks the ladder with one finger out of the way. Like, what was the ladder supposed to do?
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I digress. But yeah, this turned out to be a really good match. I enjoyed it. It was lots of fun. And it was long too. They went 20 minutes.
Oh, worth it. Every minute.
Totally. Almost as good as the first one they had.
Yeah.
I think the first one was a little bit better, but
that was pretty close.
Yeah. Next is our main event, Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman against Logan Paul. This match, Logan Paul, okay, not going to say the match, but Logan Paul was better than he had any right to be in this match.
Yeah, this guy's constantly impressing me. Didn't need this match. Didn't ever think that he had a chance, even though he had pure offense. Yeah, it's this freaking Moxley booking that they're giving to Reigns just makes me sick.
Yeah.
It's like, how did Logan Paul beat your ass for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And then you did one finishing move and the match was over. I'm sorry, spoilers. Roman Reigns.
Yeah, wins. Roman Reigns goes, but I mean, spoilers. Everybody knows that Roman was not going to lose to Logan.
But I called it again, interference.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns wins. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And when I saw the setup for it, I was like, oh my God, this idiot is going to jump over the ring and Roman Reigns is going to get up. And when he comes back in, he's going to get Superman punch or speared. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But you know what? Jake Paul kind of looked like, I like the way that he came out. I'm not a fan. Yeah. No. He's a terrible human being. I would not support him. But
he didn't look half bad.
And
they really built him up in the fact that, this guy just came off of beating Anderson Silva. Like,
all his lead up to what happened was pretty good. The only thing was the second power punch he did. I don't remember if it was Jimmy or Jay. He didn't even get close to hitting him.
That, yeah.
It was not even close. And you could see it from the off angle that it wasn't even close.
He totally whiffed that. But,
it looked really bad. But hey, that's what even their little buddies came in and took some nice bumps.
Yeah, I was surprised. Some hits,
The one guy took a huge bump over the top rope. I was like, whoa.
The little dude.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like, all right,
I'll take it.
I did like that Jake Paul came in acting all badass, but then Solo came out and he was like, no, I'm gonna F you guys up. And I was okay with that. I really like that.
But it evened out the numbers. That's one thing I really had an issue with is with whenever Roman, it's always like,
yes, but outside of this event, okay, maybe in Survivor Series we see them face each other as a group or something, but outside of this specific event, I can't see Logan Paul ever getting a title shot again.
Well, Logan Paul's out for a year now, at least. He reported on his Twitter earlier that a few days ago that he has torn his meniscus, his MCL, and a possible ACL tear.
Well, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so he could be.
Do we know when that happened?
No, I'm guessing it's when he did that flip over Roman and he kind of landed awkwardly. It's either that or when he did the jump onto the table.
Yeah. I mean, there was a few moments where I yelled out loud, if this happens, I'm never watching wrestling again. And one of them was Roman Reigns not moving after the 5-minute gap between him climbing up the ropes and doing the frog splash.
Yeah.
But it did look good.
And you could see Roman Reigns clearly had his bell rung because when he hit him with that punch, you could see Roman going to his ear after. He's like completely shocked from it. Like, I think he legit took an ear shot there, like a rabbit punch. And you could see Roman was not quite right for the rest of the night. And the end came shortly after that.
Yeah, I think there was, I feel like the ending was going to be somewhere right there. But I feel like they both knew that both of them got a little bit hurt and that they should just fucking end it right now.
Yeah.
Because there was a few spot calls by Roman and him talking to each other in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, the kid this is only his third professional wrestling match. Yeah. And he's impressed me more than Austin Theory.
He's arguably the closest that we've ever got to Kurt Angle. Like how we were talking about that Raw progression.
Like a debut, yeah.
Just like right out the gate becoming this actually decent wrestler, and he's nailed the neck breaker spot off the ropes,
the blockbuster.
He's got these. He understands. He has a little moveset going now, and they look pretty good.
We were impressed in that tag match in the WrestleMania almost a year ago now. Him and the Miz in that tag match against the Mysterios, and we were impressed. But then we're like, okay, how's he going to do on his own?
And he impressed again.
And he impressed again against the Miz. Now it's like, okay, they're giving him a title shot. Can he keep up with Roman Reigns? And sure enough, he kept up with Roman Reigns. I'm very impressed with Logan Paul. And if he can stay healthy, I could see him having a good, like a lower tier title. I can see him having a good run.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that. That's why you need to bring back the TV title. This wasn't like a amazing match, but it was good. It was SummerSlammy, minus the gimmicks of SummerSlam's event with the whole tipping of the ring and stuff. Yeah. The quality of the match, the entertainment level of it was there.
Yeah, it was high. Like when he grabbed his buddy's camera and he did the selfie filming the And if you look, that video is on his social media. Like you see
they were live streaming, I believe, at that point. But yeah, that's his
whole thing, right? That's his MO.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's it. So Roman Reigns wins.
Yeah. Feud's over, clearly.
Yeah. We're moving on now to new things. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, let's see where this goes. I think Survivor Series is going to be this turning point for the company.
I think Survivor Series is going to start all the new feuds and send us in a new trajectory, WWE wise. Okay, so in typical me fashion, I'm going to make you say your things first.
Okay. I gave it fairly decent score. I gave this 7.3.
Hold on.
What?
I also gave this a 7.3 because I thought it was just a little bit better than SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was SummerSlam for me. What did I give SummerSlam?
I don't like that we're on the same page.
7.1.
I give it 7.2. So
we're clearly influencing each other. But 7.3. I had a lot of fun with the matches. A lot of the matches had meaning to it. A lot of the matches had good storytelling to it. Other than the almost match and the Brock Lesnar match. But the
Brock Lesnar match was still a watchable match. The almost match was like absolutely terrible.
Horrible. But all the matches were good. I had to take a couple points away for the goddamn promos.
Yeah, and the early mess up that was the tag team match, the women's match.
Yeah.
And the slow build in a few of the matches. Like, they're not good slow builds like New Japan. They're like, why am I watching this build?
And then all of a sudden it's like, wow.
Yeah. It's still too overproduced for me as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Overproduced is a good word for it. Like I said, 7.3. Fun show. Was a lot of fun to watch. The fact that it was in the afternoon and I had the rest of my day. I'm going to give match of the night to the Judgment Day and OC.
I'm going to keep up this tradition that we've had lately, and I'm going to give it to Bianca versus Bayley.
Yeah, that's a close second.
The Judgment Day would have been a close second for me, and barring that one moment that changed my life forever,
yeah,
I just think that Bianca's really special.
Yeah,
and the fact that she didn't win the PWI #1 spot is insane to me.
Yes, go watch that video. Was out last week. He'll be.
They were pretty tied for me.
Yeah,
but I think that women's wrestling lately has just been really good.
Yeah, it has been. It really has been. And in a couple of weeks, when we watch the historic crossover event, we're gonna get to see some of these women on that list in terms of Shuri and Starlight Kid are on the New Japan event, and a bunch of others, and a returning WWE in Kairi Sane.
Yep.
So let's go. In a couple of weeks, November 20th is when that show will air, and we'll have the review for that. We're gonna have it's the day after Full Gear.
Yeah, and hey, Full Gear, Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm, baby. Yep. That's a match right
and
there.
And how hungover will you be the day after Full Gear?
Ooh, I will be sleeping for an entire 24 hours. Guaranteed.
Okay. So Monday night we'll do the...
Definitely, because I'm promising you I will be out cold for the entire day of Sunday.
So yeah, it's gonna be a long day Saturday. We'll probably end up we'll go to the bridal suite and watch Full Gear in there.
You know what? I don't want. It sounds really bad, but like I think we should just spend the whole night in there and watch the whole pay-per-view. But like I'd rather do that because I can get drinks and just bring them in there. So
bring them. That's it.
Hey, but we digress.
I digress.
Gone on too long.
Yeah, this was like I said, it was a fun show. It was watchable. Watch the second half of the event was definitely the best part of it.
Watch the whole thing. Just skip Omos versus
and skip. Yeah, you could do this in an hour and a half. If you skip Omos and you skip all the promos, yeah, an hour and a half will do it for you. So that's it for us. And tune in tomorrow where Campo and I will have our review of Battle Autumn. That's right. We're going hardcore with the wrestling reviews over the next month and a half. It's going to be review after review after review, which I love. I don't mind. I just hope you guys love it as much as we do. And on that note, guys, we'll see y'all next time.